You're good to go. Okay, thank you. The Architectural Review Board of the Town of Southampton now come to order. Welcome to the July 2nd, 2024 meeting. Ms. Doyle, the ARB attorney, is absent at this point, so we'll dispense with the reading of the legal regulations for this hybrid meeting.
Well, you could read them if you like. I'm just sitting in for her Assistant Town Attorney Mark McRedmond.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
So if there are any questions, we can refer them to you.
Yes, and then I'll likely refer them to Kelly, but I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have today.
Fine, thank you.
Sure.
So the next is Mr. Rump, the Vice Chair. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure.
And all stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Rump.
You're welcome, Mr. Chairman.
And Mr. Jankowski, the Board Secretary, will you please perform the roll call and inform us if we have a quorum?
Mr. Wright?
Present.
Mr. Tagliavia is absent, and he let us know. Ms. Keys?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Here.
Myself, Mr. Rumpf?
Here.
And Mr. Sherrier. We
Thank
do have
you.
a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jankowski. Did the board members that were present review the minutes of the June 18th, 2024 meeting? And if they did, are there any errors or omissions?
None.
None. No one had omissions. Therefore, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the June 18th, 2024 meeting as written. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you. Any old business to come before the board not on the agenda? If none, then we'll resume with the published agenda. First item on the agenda is a site plan review, and this is an administrative review. Hampton Business District, 220 Rogers Way in West Hampton.
Mr. Chairman, I have to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rump.
We still have a quorum.
We still have a quorum. Thank you very much, Mr. Jankowski. Is the applicant available to present this application to the board?
Yes, Kristen's here.
Kristen, well, come on up, please. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
I've been here for a while.
All
Yeah,
serious.
well, it's either one, but,
Okay.
and I've just, if you're aware, they're up on the screen, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
for the public.
Okay, great. I do have some photographs, if you don't mind, and or are
Right,
interested.
well, Mr. Jankowski is the lead board member
Okay,
in this area,
okay.
and you can direct most of your comments toward him, and
Just
the
state your
board
name
will.
too,
Okay.
Kristen, for
Kristen
Right.
McCabe, Director of Planning and Land Use, Reckler Equity Partners, the owner of the property.
Right.
we can pass them around like school.
Yeah.
Sure. So the proposal is pretty simple. The image that you see on the screen is the northern elevation of the building. The proposal is just to add 6 windows on that north elevation to allow daylight into the warehouse space. The glazing would match the windows on the north facade. The package of photographs I sent just kind of shows that northern side. The second photograph is just more zoomed in from that. The third photograph is one that I took, so it is not good. But it's a direct image of that northern facade where the 6 windows are proposed.
Right.
The other request, if you can change to sheet A2, is just to replace 6 of the existing solid metal overhead doors on the rear facade. Just replace those with glass overhead doors, like what you would see in like a firehouse. So the next few images in the packet are images of those existing doors, and then just like a reference photo of what the glass overhead doors would look
That's
like
it,
from
yeah.
the inside.
That's this right here? This one?
Yes, yes,
Okay, that concludes your presentation?
yes.
Thank you. Mr. Jankowski, would you give the board your comments?
Just because it's easier for me to reference, Kristen, this is the brewery building,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
So it's in the corner. So the
Yes.
opposite of that corner is where you want to put the
So-
glass. Am I seeing it right?
So
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
this is,
Oh, perfect. Site plan, yep.
yep,
And
Okay.
then, which one are we adding?
sorry. This is 220 Rogers. This is
Yeah,
walking
so this
figure,
is the highway.
Amazon,
Yep,
yep,
yep.
CR 31,
Yep.
the airport's over here.
Yep.
So brewery is here,
Yep.
and then this
So
is,
this is where you want them, and you want to do the glass here.
yes,
Okay.
it's the northern 6
Yep,
doors
I'm
on the
with you.
rear facade.
All right, I'm with you.
half of
So,
them, 6
all
and
right, so
12.
reference for everybody. It's the furthest building away from County Road 31. All right, it's where the brewery is. So it's the furthest one that's into it. It's going to match now the other side of the brewery with what they want to do. And then the back side is to Shelt Air. So it's only the airport that sees it, or if we're going to Cafe Volo in the back. So I don't have an issue with what you want to do and recommend approval as written.
Thank you, Mr. Jankowski. Ms. Keys, comments?
I see no problem with this at all. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Burke, comments?
No issues.
Mr. Wright, comments?
No, I'm all good.
And I don't have any issues with it. I'm going with the lead on this. Since this is an administrative review, we need to vote on it. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So I'll
As submitted?
motion to approve.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Is there any comments from the public before we make a motion on this?
I'm good with it.
You're okay? Thank you very much.
Kevin, any hands?
Yeah.
No one
All
on
right,
Zoom.
no one. We're just going to wait a little while in case someone comes in.
Understood.
But there. Okay, do I hear a motion on this?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded as to approve as submitted. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Kristen.
Right, thank
Have a
you.
good Fourth.
Thank you, you guys too.
Right.
Do you want this back? You can have it.
Recycle.
It's your artwork.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, Christine, could you get Mr. Rump in? Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, thank you. Yeah, he told me just to go ahead and just wait a little.
Okay.
And then, because if there's somebody on there that raises their hand, they'll come right in. Yeah, the next one's yours too.
Mm-hmm. And then the next two after that.
Good.
Yeah, I got Luther. I wonder if that's a good sign or not. Okay. Next on the agenda is West Hampton Beach Fire District, 31 Seabreeze Avenue, West Hampton. Is the applicant available on this?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And Mr. Jankowski is the lead board member on this. And if you would direct your presentation to the board and to Mr. Jankowski.
I will, thank you. So
Right.
my name is Louis Cassara, Cassara. I'm a West Hampton Beach Fire District Commissioner, sitting on the board with Dean Culver, Thomas Benjamin, Mr. Conrad Teller, Chairman Donald Metcalf is 5. So we own the property, West Hampton Beach Fire District owns the property at 31 Seabreeze. It's an existing 5,000 square foot structure. We intend to build an additional 3,000 square foot, 60 by 50 square foot building. As such, the color is any color of desire. The existing color on the building we have now is almond, non-reflective steel. The exact dimension of the steel, I don't know the dimensions. It's a solid, very heavy core steel with a foam background for insulation. Comprises of doors on the east side, so the 3 new doors would be facing east. They're 12 foot wide by 14 foot high. There is a glass panel in that Where the existing doors do not have glass, that was, I believe, a miss. But the glass panels are, it is at visual height, so roughly 5 feet. I do have it, if it matters, it's, should have penciled that in.
Oh,
Did
I'm
not,
just going to
but
interrupt
it
you
has
for a
glass.
second.
Yes.
Mr. Jankowski, isn't that a regulation that has to be glass on any fire
No, for the doors?
for the doors?
No. This is a maintenance building, so
Oh,
it's actually not the main
okay.
firehouse, so it's okay.
Where is this in, where?
So near the new catch, former buoy,
Oh, I know exactly where.
you'll
Right.
see Breeze hang a left. So it's a setback building.
Right.
It does have full curbing, basins in place. We're not anticipating any extra drainage, need for water. Taxpayer has no burden, so we're fully funded on the project. We are also filing for a grant to make it easier on the taxpayer, hoping to get something on the $250 million grant that was offered to EMS and fire this year. So the issue at planning was, so the initial planning was, well, we have 60 feet, so simple minds would say, well, we'll just cover the neighbor. That came up in planning, so I offered 10 7 to 8 foot arborvitae trees at 4 feet each. Went back to the commissioners, I say, went to the planning, I said, didn't really feel so great. I think we should run a whole fence, continuous fence from the open neighbor. So there's a new house on the east, just north of the property. He has a brand new fence. Inside of his fence, he has green giants inside his perimeter. Then it opens up to Mr. Tabota's property at 165 feet. We had it measured by a real fence person, other than myself. It's about 200 feet. So to go from one property all the way to the back, we would leave the existing vegetation, which, okay, so there's existing vegetation, which is hard to see there, right to the north of the green roof. So we would be building onto that gravel area, if that's the mouse just open to, where the end is in West Hampton. So that used to be our soft building during the building process of 92 Sunset Avenue. We had permitted it, built it, sold it, it's out, the gravel remains, the drainage is still there. So everything is basically just add on. So we would be adding on 3 walls. That existing east wall with the door is remaining. So we're going to leave that, the existing structure, just adding on the 3. We'll be picking up the new gutter design. So if you looked at the building or did a walkthrough, there's gutters that have been iced and torn. The aluminum edge of the gutter is a little out of height. That'll be fixed on the build. So we'll be adding, so planning asked me to put in the 165-foot of fence. We agreed to that. I'll get approval tonight at my meeting, but I'm sure the 200-foot is going to be approved. Being that, again, back to the taxpayer, if we would address the whole edge with green giants, it would have been really prohibitive, $15,000 plus the yearly maintenance costs. So we opted for the fence and planning like that. So we're going to be putting in a fence. So my restrictions were town engineering, ZBA, fire marshal, and insert the fence and come and see you guys.
So may I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Jim?
sure, Mr. Rump.
So you're
It's all right.
not going to be adding any landscape at all, just the fence for screening?
Well, we have 2 or 3 dead white pine that were installed incorrectly. They're going to come out. The leaning green, it's hard to see the dimension, but there's a leaning blue spruce. That'll be coming out, and then we'll redress the edge. But we feel there's enough vegetation that's there on our property, on the district property, that additional may not be necessary. The front is all scrub pine and cedar, and it probably has been left natural from day one. So we had no real intention of adding to that at this particular point. I did speak to the builder right before the call, all through county contracts. He left it open as to if you desire a color, a trim, that all is possible. So if you needed corner beading or anything like that, it's all open and on the table, and I'm sure I could get our fellow commissioners to approve any addition necessary to move the project forward.
What color fence? What kind of fence you doing?
Fence is cedar. Planning recommended gray
Gray cedar.
How
cedar,
high?
6 foot.
Okay. All right. Just
And you
wanted
put
to ask
the
one-
best edge towards your neighbor?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one comment, all right?
Go ahead.
because you have the floor as well. When you mentioned scrub pine, how high are those scrub pine?
Don't know, they're existing, they could go as maybe 20 feet.
Yeah, it's probably
Yes.
very tall.
That's what I
Yeah,
did.
they're
That's,
next- it's
that's
a
all I
mix.
wanted to hear.
We're contracted with a local landscaper. He does a cleanup there twice a year. So we try to leave it as naturally clean as possible without overly scraping it. I mean, he kind of, if it was our own property, we would be more clean, to be quite honest, in my opinion. But being that it's a little, using it for maintenance and mechanical, it's probably adequate.
All right. Mr. Jankowski, you have the floor.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to, there was an existing building there when they were building the new firehouse in West Hampton. So now that's gone, and they're just basically making it permanent now. So that had been there. It's set back so much, you don't even know it's there. Unless you know that it's there. You can't see it. So it's got plenty of the screening in the front, even where you see that driveway, which is big enough for fire apparatus to go through. You still can't see it just because of the way it's the long way coming from Seabreeze. I say match existing, so it matches the other building.
It nearly matches. So that building was built, was it 2004, I believe, maybe 6. So the imprint on the aluminum, the texture, if you would, is a little bit different than today's design, but it's not wildly different. It's basically the same.
Close enough. I mean, to match existing, it's in the back. You're not going to see it. It doesn't face anything that can see. So with what's been submitted, if you just do the TME, I recommend approval as submitted.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Keys, comments?
Agree with the lead.
TME.
Oh,
To match existing.
To match existing. Okay.
Mr. Rump, comments?
No, I agree with the lead, and good luck with the project.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
All right. Mr. Burke, comments?
No issues.
Mr. Wright, comments?
No issues.
Okay, I don't have any issues with it. I'm going with the lead. Any comments from the public? If none, then this is also an administrative review.
Mr. Chair, just an interruption.
What?
So in a meeting, our founder of the district, more or less, was Fred Overton. So the building we call 31 Seabreeze. That's annex, et cetera, on my paperwork. The board approved the name change to the Fred Overton Building. So we probably will, in the future, put a small placard outside, not a large sign, not an LED sign, not electric. I'm thinking a white, small post sign capped off
Right.
the Fred Overton Building, West Hampton Beach Fire District. Is that something that I would need a sign permit for?
Yes, you
Okay,
need
so
a sign
that's all I need to
permit,
know.
and you would come to this board again
Okay,
for
fine.
approval on
Fine.
this.
That's just crossing my T's and
Yeah,
I want to make
and
sure.
if you have any questions, are you all right with him contacting you?
Yeah, they can, but I thought as a municipality, I didn't think they had to go that route.
I think they do,
Okay.
even now. There's this quasi.
That's fine. I
When
don't
we
mind
get to
doing
it,
the work.
we'll
It's-
figure it
it's
out.
okay. Exactly.
It might
Because
just be
I'm
that
looking
they-
at the one we had to approve the one in Hampton Bays.
No, that was for the VFW, and that's different.
Well,
That's
I
not a
mean,
municipality.
No, the
For the fire department,
fire
the monument,
department. Yeah,
that was a
the new
long,
one.
long-
I know it was a long time ago, and the law might have changed. That's why we're unsure of it.
Does-
Yeah,
Can we get clarification
well,
from the town
that's what
attorney?
I'm gonna do, yeah. Can you help
Mark?
us with this, do you think?
I sure will, yeah. I have a feeling that you'll need a permit for the sign, but I'll check with Kelly just to
Yeah.
make sure.
And like I honestly don't mind. So if it meant filling out a form and being told you don't need it, I'm good.
That's it, and
Yeah,
then
I'm
you
okay
just
with
come
it.
here
It's
and
not an
and
interruption.
submit
It's
it.
my
And
pleasure to serve these guys.
your sign installer will go ahead and have the paperwork, and you don't even have to, he can come here.
Installer.
Oh, okay, so,
Are you just going to put it on the building?
No. We'll
You wanna
have
make
get
a monument
approved.
out front?
I'll have to get it approved, how we're gonna do that.
No.
You know,
That I meant like where you're going to end up putting it.
Couldn't say.
All right.
Just in case it came up, I wanted to have the answer,
That's fine.
and I could bring it up.
Yeah,
You
well,
might
they-
just have to fill it out, and then they waive the fee because of it being a municipality. That might
Right.
be what they do now.
right, and then we'll find out if you have
Right.
to come here.
Just trying to get it noted in this one, just in case.
Right, well, there's setbacks you have to consider and things like that, but that's all right. Okay, there are no comments from the public on this. Do I hear a motion to approve as submitted?
Motion to recommend approval as submitted.
Okay, Motion has been made and seconded to approve as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thanks,
It's
Lou.
approved.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank
have a
you.
great,
Thank you
holiday.
Next on the agenda is substantial residential, 21 Redan Trail. This is in 21 Redan Trail, East Quad. Mr. Jankowski is the lead on this. And is the applicant available? If not,
I think he's on Zoom. He should be on Zoom.
he's on Zoom, yeah.
I got one too.
This
Thank
is
you.
one in the Pine Barren thing?
Yes.
So I have to recuse myself, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rump. And
Ted, where's Punch Lane Bowl?
That is in the Pines. So the new one that is being built off of Lewis Road.
Yeah.
That's why we
That's why they
don't
don't
know
come
the names
Yeah,
of them yet.
right,
Redan, Punch Bowl. Yeah, there's a couple others that are in there.
Okay.
yeah, so,
Eventually, I'll learn them when we go in with the fire truck.
right.
But you remember they did the sheet where it showed all 21 designs
I
of
don't
what they're
think- I
doing.
don't
That's
know
all
if
right.
you were here then.
Oh no, he
but
was
I
here.
saw it.
You were?
Yep, 'cause
Okay,
I did the last one without them. Oh, here we go.
okay, here we are.
Lars.
Okay, do you want to present this?
Sure, good morning, Will.
Hi.
Yeah, this is similar to past meetings, this falls over the 5,000 square feet, which we need quorum to review and approve versus some of the earlier smaller home submissions that fell under the 5,000 square foot rule. So again, as Mr. Jankowski just mentioned, we have presented streetscapes that our architect, Mark Allerton, had done for the entire neighborhood. So the submissions on the docket today matches those exterior finishes and roof lines that have been previously reviewed by the board. And so we're just looking for the individual home approvals as we've been doing in past sessions.
Right, well, Mr. Jankowski is the lead board member, and do you want to give us your comments and/or approval?
Yep. Comments are exactly the same that I had before, where they showed us everything. Everything fits the character. These just happen to be the ones that are a little bit bigger. So, for the 21 Redan Trail, I recommend approval as submitted.
Okay, fine. Ms. Keys, comments?
I have no comments on this.
Okay, fine. Mr. Burke,
No
comments? Mr. Wright, comments?
Nope.
And I don't have any comments on this. And this we have to vote on. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve as
Oh,
submitted.
Excuse me. Any comments from the public? None? Good. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. It's carried. Okay, next,
He's also 51.
Yep.
yeah, next on the agenda is 51 Punch Bowl Lane, East Quogue. I don't think Tim can come in for
Nope,
that.
still not yet.
He's
Still not yet.
We'll get through this one.
Okay, the applicant is available, and Mr. Jankowski is the lead board member on this application. And would you give the board your comments and decision on this application?
Yeah, Lars, do you want to talk? It's basically just a different.
Thanks, Ted. Exactly as we just talked about for the last call. Again, this is one of the pre-approved
Exactly. So
collection palettes. Ditto for everything we just went through.
and they make the changes so that they're not exact, and
Right.
and it fits. So I recommend approval as submitted.
Thank you. Ms. Keys, comments?
No comments.
Mr. Burke, comments? Mr. Wright, comments?
I'm okay, thank you.
And I have no comments. I'm going with the lead on this. Okay, any comments from the public on this? If none, do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve as submitted.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve as submitted. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thanks, Lars. Have a good
It's
Fourth.
report,
Happy 4th, everyone.
right, same to you. Thank you. Okay, next is, yeah, we're gonna wait for Mr. Rump to get back in.
Should we ask before he sits down? Luther Drive and Watermills? Good?
No, he has no problem with Luther Drive. Because I looked at the landscape plan already.
Is this
Okay,
a subdivide?
what?
Oh.
Yeah,
Let's see.
okay, 8 Luther Drive in Watermill. Is the applicant available? Okay, thank you. And I'm the lead board member on this application, and after the presentation, I'll give the board my comments and decision. Yeah, could you speak up a little?
Sorry, good morning. I hope
Yeah.
everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
My name is Ron Zachary. I'm the architect for 8 Luther Drive. And I assume the board has had a chance to review the submitted plans and renderings.
Some of them have, but you'll have to go through it.
That's fine. So I heard one of the members ask about this being a subdivision. Yes, there are 2 lots that are being developed, 8 Luther and 20 Luther. Our first application before the board is for a new dwelling at 8 Luther. And it's roughly a 12,800 square foot home, 2 stories, with a full finished basement. We've oriented the house in such a fashion where it respects the small street frontage on Luther with an axial entrance into a motor court via gravel driveway. The home basically is on it's a completely vacant lot. There's a couple of small trees and shrubs that will be displaced, and there's a detached cabana that we're proposing along with an in-ground pool in the back as well. The rear yard principally will be a lawn area. The renderings, the original landscape renderings showed a tennis court. We've removed that from the application, and it will be just a lawn in the back now. So the home, again, it's basically a 10-bedroom home, 3 in the basement, a guest suite on the first floor, and then 6 bedrooms upstairs. On the exterior, we're proposing a cedar roof with pre-stained cedar perfections and bronze-colored Marvin aluminum clad windows with bronze trim around them. The garage doors will be aluminum in the same bronze color with some glass, so fairly modern garage doors. The same for the front door, and the patios in the back will be some form of limestone, I believe, a travertine or something in that family. We're working with our landscape architect still to develop some of those details. And overall, the property affords us up to 15,000 square feet of footprint. We're just under that with our proposed roof areas. And so from a zoning perspective, our setbacks, our footprint, our building height, our sky exposure is all in compliance. And I would be happy to entertain any questions that you might have.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with the neighborhood, and it's really of quite a mix of postmodern residences.
Agreed.
No actual modern, but mostly postmodern. Most of the houses have a gable roof, which you have gabled, and I think you have a modified mansard on one of it, which still fits in with the rest of the whole neighborhood. What is the siding on this house?
There'll be pre-stained cedar perfection shingles. Maybach is the manufacturer from Canada, and it'll be a light gray color.
Okay,
It's a roughly a 5¼ inch exposure to get 3 overlaps to the weather.
Right, okay, fine, and that fits in with the whole neighborhood too. You provided a landscape plan.
Yes.
Ms. Meyer, could we have the landscape plan up? And could you describe the landscape plan for us?
I can. My landscape architect is overseas currently, so he wasn't available for today's conversation. But again, just to point out, the tennis court has been eliminated from the application, so that'll be a very large lawn area in the back of the property. And so we have an axial entrance driveway that'll afford us to park a few cars off the street with 4 trees that define or delineate that formal entry when you come in off of the road. And there will be screen plantings along the, if you're looking at the drawing to the left, the front left side where the driveway is, going around to the garage, which is on the left side. When we designed the house, we were pretty deliberate about putting the garage as close to on the north side as possible for the sake of maximizing the daylight into the home. And there will be screening on that entire left side, and then heading north and east of it to provide adequate screening for the whole driveway and garage area on that left side. The right side of the property will also include staggered screening, as you can see, all the way back to the back property line. And of course, there will be some foundation plantings around the perimeter of the house. Also, some decorative plantings in the back. Behind the pool, there will be 3 flowering trees. There's a fire pit area and some low vegetation, some grasses, some flowering arrangements, and purely decorative low plantings so as to not obscure the beautiful views out into the property from the home.
Okay, and from my understanding, there's quite a bit of large trees around the rear of the property.
There's a lot of existing vegetation.
Right, it's not on your property, but it's there.
Yeah, you can somewhat see it on this drawing. It does show some of the existing vegetation. This is one kind of overlap with an aerial photograph. So yes, there's a lot of large vegetation on that north and east, that east side, I guess it is, of the property. And to the right, as the board is looking at this is the 20 Luther property that the same owners will be developing as well.
Okay. Well, like I said, the design of the house and also the materials you're using fit within the neighborhood. I don't have a problem with it. One issue with that whole neighborhood, though, is that any outside lighting must conform to the dark skies initiative. In other words, you cannot have light trespass.
I believe that was noted on the application.
Okay.
When I completed it does in fact say dark sky compliant on my paperwork.
So it does.
Good. It is. Thank you very much, Ms. Meyer. Okay, fine. Yeah, I recommend approval as submitted. Based on comments from Mr. Rump on the landscape plan. Mr. Rump, comments on the landscape plan and also the design.
I don't have an issue with that. The only question I had is how big are the first and second floors without the basement?
The first floor is 5,996.7 to be exact, and the second floor is 6,870.2, in part because it goes over the garage. The garage being the second number. So that's heated square footage.
Yeah, conditioned space. Okay.
Conditioned space, yes.
I have no further questions, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
fine. Mr. Jankowski?
I have no issues. I'm following the lead.
Okay. Ms. Keys?
Do you have, it's cedar shingled throughout?
It's cedar shingles, and there's also a little bit of vertical tongue-in roof cedar, which will be the same exact color.
So in the picture that we have, in the initial picture, it shows it, it's almost like a white stucco with a, that's not true.
No, yeah, not at all. It's
Yeah, you can
sorry,
see it
sorry.
when you come into it.
Oh, okay. I thought I see it from here.
And then it's got some vertical. So you're
Yeah,
seeing
that's what
the-
breaks up the
Yeah.
long,
Okay.
lines.
All
yeah.
right, from
lines.
here,
Thank you.
the stucco. I'm like, listen to everybody. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Excuse me?
the rendering company decided to get this shot from a helicopter, I guess. So I apologize.
Yeah.
It's still been good
I
though.
think
All
they-
right, that's much better when you get it.
Okay, Mr.
Thank
Burke, comments?
No issues.
Mr. Wright, comments?
I'm going to follow the lead, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any comments from the public on this? None? There are none. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve as submitted.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second from Bill.
Okay. Mr. Wright seconded it?
Yep,
Okay,
correct.
thank you. Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you. It's carried.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ron. Have a good fourth.
Yeah, good luck with your
Right, thank you.
project.
Thank you.
Right. Next on the agenda is 85 Pleasant Drive, 85 Pleasant Drive, Bridgehampton.
Pheasant.
Is it pheasant?
Pheasant, sorry. Can't even read my own writing. Ms. Keys is the lead board member on this application. And is the applicant available? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it is Pheasant. Had a little bit of problems there.
Hello.
Hi.
Yep.
Yeah, would you give your name
Yeah.
and your connection with this project?
The board here.
Yes.
We can hear you.
In here.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
I don't know if you can hear
Probably a
us.
good thing, right?
Ah.
Anything yet?
Where?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it has to be on his end anyway.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
We can
now
hear
we
you.
can.
Okay, now I can hear you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Say
Yeah.
it again then, because he didn't hear you with the kid's name.
Oh, yeah,
Dan,
would you give your name and connection with this project?
I'm sorry?
Would you give your name for the record and your connection with this project?
My name is Dan Kissinger. I'm a licensed architect working for McDonough and Connery Architects. This project I'm presenting on behalf of the owner, who's the builder on the property as well. The property, the house is going to be around 7,700 square feet. The materials that we're planning on using, is just going to be a natural cedar shingle mixed with a vertical cedar shingle. It's going to have a bleaching stain, so it's going to weather evenly. The roofing material is going to be just a cedar roof. All of the trim material, including windows, also gutters, is going to be a black color. The windows are going to be a black color as well. Any type of exterior lighting that we have spec'd out are going to be downward facing sconces. We're open to any comments that the board
Okay,
may have.
one thing I'm just going to ask for clarification on this, Ms. Keys.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as if you have metal roofs. Is that, or is that just the way it was indicated?
Yes, so we are going to have small portions of metal roof. I'm sorry about that. It's going to be a light, I believe it's going to be a light gray color.
Okay, all right, Ms. Keys? Would you give the board your comments and
There's an
decision?
existing house there now, right?
Correct.
So you're taking that down and you have a landscape plan with it?
I do not have a landscape plan as of right now.
What is the degree of additional size of the space of the new building?
So the existing, I don't have any exact square footages, but we're probably doing a house that's double the size.
So we need a landscape plan for one thing, but I'm not sure, so you have two different roof materials?
Yes, just for small portions of it, it's going to have the metal roof over like the front porch.
I think I need a little bit more specific information from this.
In other words, you would like to, do you have a rendering?
I have a picture of a house that we did. It's pretty much the same exact house. If I could share my screen, I'd like to show you.
Yes, share your screen, please. This is a spec house anyway. So, yeah, but it's a spec house, so that's why you'll have
So this
something
is
similar.
a house that's similar
So it's
to
just accent roofing.
pretty much the exact same style of the house that we did previously. The only thing different is that there's white trim up and over the gable ends, and we're planning on changing that to black.
I still feel, I just would like a really much more specific information on the landscape and on the building itself.
Okay, so more the metal roofing.
Well, the materials, the floor plan, what trees you're taking down, what trees you're leaving, what screening you're going to have, etc.
Okay.
The colors of the materials. You know, that's stuff we kind of need to make these decisions.
Okay. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, there will be. I'll go through all of the board members.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rump, comments?
I have no further comments, questions.
Okay, fine. Mr. Jankowski?
I have no issues, and I have no issue if we recommend approval, and then Ms. Keys can look at the landscape plan from the information that he gave us.
All right, okay. All right, Mr. Burke, comments?
No, I agree with what Ted just said.
Okay, Mr. Wright, comments?
I agree.
Okay, and Ms. Meyer, could you bring up the elevation of the house? Okay, can you zoom in a little? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, with this house, I appreciate that you broke up the fenestration a lot more. Where the other one, it looked a bit static on the rendering you showed us. So, I mean, I appreciate that. And it's a little bit more than a little of the metal roof. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections of metal roof. So this is where Ms. Keys is going to need to almost see a sample of it.
Sure.
And it must be non-reflective.
Okay.
All right, and that's basically my comments because she's covered all the other comments I would have had. I can do this. We can, if somebody wants to make a motion to approve the house, the design of it, but the final approval will be based on your submission of a landscape plan and also the materials submitted to Ms. Keys
Okay.
And a rendering.
and a rendering.
Mr. Chairman, you said materials too, right?
Right, materials, yeah. Okay, do I hear a motion outlining what I just said, or
Motion
you'd
to
rather
approve.
not?
No, motion to approve what you said.
Okay, motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded. Now I gotta remember what I said. To a submission of a landscape plan, submission of colors on the material, and also materials, and also a rendering. And this would be submitted to Ms. Keys as a final approval, but we will approve basically the design of the house today. Okay. All right. And that was the motion that was made and seconded. All those in, oh, excuse me. Any comments from the public before we vote? None? Then fine. Okay, do I hear well, we heard the motion. We've got to vote.
All those in favor.
Okay, yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, basically,
Thanks,
the
Dan. Happy
design is approved, but you will have to have, for final approval, submitted to Ms. Keys. The items.
Yeah,
that
get a
we
rendering, get a landscape plan, get a materials list
Right.
with colors. All right?
Okay, and just send it over.
Send it to Ms. Myers,
Yeah.
and then it'll get distributed the correct way.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
Have a good day. Have a good holiday.
Right, have a good holiday. Thank you. Any further business to come before the board?
Motion
If-
to adjourn.
Sure.
Second.
Yeah. Motion is made to adjourn and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Thank you, everyone. Have
Yeah.
a great